I need to get a haircut.
I will get my next haircut.
That one right there.
Okay. I'll get my next haircut a couple hours before NAMM.
Oh, yeah. On your way to NAMM, you go to her friend. You okay?
That was hypersonic, so only the dogs could hear that potentially.
The coyotes in the canyon are freaking out right now. He did it, guys. He did it. Everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steven. This is 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing podcast. This first ad was sent by Sean Agate. This is a Fender Precision Bass MSS 93911. It's $4,900. Vintage.
Better be worth it.
1969 USA. Made in USA. Fender Precision Bass. Neck stamped for June 1969. Body made by Y. Sandoval, defretted, and Nigel Tufnold. 2 sets of P-Bass pickups installed, 1/2 for each string. Individual volume controlled in master tone. Pickup type looks very similar to 1980s era Greco / Maxon pickups.
I picked this ad just for you, Steve.
This reminds me a lot of that Split 6 guitar we did a few months ago, but this is the bass version. This pick guard makes this look like an early Music Man bass.
It kind of does. Yeah, I get that.
With that butterscotchy, whatever color that is.
So let's just get, for the audio listeners at home in podcast land, let's explain what we're looking at here. We're looking at a P-Bass body, a vintage P-Bass body, with a humongous pick guard.
Yes.
It covers pretty much the entirety of the lower half of the guitar and then covers a lot of the upper half. And mounted in this pick guard is P-Bass pickups. 1 for each string, but diagonal, basically.
So yeah, they're at an angle.
You also got 4 knobs and I'm assuming a 3-way switch for some reason.
That also looks like a knob.
It might actually be another knob. You're right.
So is this volume, master tone?
Maybe.
Or is it tone?
Well, it's probably is active EQs, Steve. So
is it active EQs?
No, I'm joking. Jeez.
I mean, it could be.
It might be. Yeah, who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I would play this, but I don't think I'd pay $5,000 for it.
No, the price. Okay, well, also it's fretless. This is a fretless P bass.
Oh, right, yeah.
With a pickup for each string, with a gigantic pick guard, but otherwise kind of handsome. Like, this is an attractive vintage bass.
It looks good. I just wouldn't pay $5,000 for it.
And I think even if you don't like the way it's set up now, I think it's potentially salvageable. I'm sure there's a lot of wood missing underneath, but I think you could have someone cut a much more traditional appearing pick guard for it.
Or
and
you
then
could
just like kind of like accept the pick guard screw holes that are left, or you know, there's talented people out there who can patch those up for you if you hate them.
This is more expensive than at least one 1969 Fender Precision bass I found.
The price is absurd. I'm never gonna argue otherwise.
Do we have any idea what store this is in?
No, I have no idea.
This is disappointing.
It's hard. Yeah, all I have is screen grabs from the email, which is fine. If you guys, when you guys send your ads, screen grabs are awesome because it means we're not going to lose the ad if it gets taken down.
Yeah.
But include the link as well. Include the link so that we can, if we have a chance, we can get screen grabs of exactly the information that we want. Because sometimes
this one's pretty good. I'm just was curious.
Look at how
because I don't recognize this part right here.
Look, I'm not an expert on anything vintage.
Okay.
Look at how thin the fretboard material is. I'm surprised.
Is that not? I mean, I guess I don't have a photographic memory.
Look at here on the Bass 6.
Oh yeah, yeah. How about that?
This is at least like 3 times thicker than what we're seeing on this vintage neck here. Is
But
that part of the vintage mojo recipe is to have a very thin piece of rosewood as your fretboard?
Kind of the interesting thing here, now that you mention it too, is that on the Bass 6 you just showed, basically it's a flat neck with a
with the
fretboard drop.
Yeah.
But this is curved.
This could have it could have been intended to be a maple neck, and it had the radius of a maple neck, and then they put the rosewood as a veneer over top of it.
Yeah. That's kind of what it looks like.
Maybe that's how they achieved the fretlessness of this. Maybe they pulled frets off the maple and they're like, that doesn't look right. It all chipped up. Let's put a rosewood veneer over the top of this.
That seems
a bit of a stretch.
Unlikely.
You think that's a stretch?
I think maybe they just used to be thinner. Do you have any? You don't have any 1960s Fenders in here
I do not
to compare to, I guess.
Okay, fine. You pointed out I'm poor. I don't have a garage full of 1960s Fenders for comparison, Steve.
You know who else was poor, right?
Who?
Never mind. You said you didn't want to talk about
I don't want to talk about Joe Bonamassa or Rick Beato.
You know, but that's a really interesting observation, this about the fretboard being like that.
That has nothing to do with the listing. I just think it's interesting.
Not.
Yeah.
I'm looking around. You don't have any other bases in here, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah. So I don't, I've never looked that closely to see if any of mine do anything like that.
You think it would only be a base thing? You'd think that Fender would just
do that
across their line.
I also do not have any Fender vintage Fender guitars.
The oldest Fender I have in here is, it's in a bag. It's in the other room. It's my early 80s Jaguar.
Right.
And it's rosewood. You want me to grab it?
Not really.
All right,
I mean, if you want to.
I don't.
That one's from Japan, though. It's going to be possibly made differently.
Oh, totally. But, maybe it was trying to mimic the style.
It's going to be made better.
But, I mean, the price is ridiculous, and we'll talk about what it should be priced at. I actually don't think it should get dinged too much. Like, I think he could be 20% under, or like 25% under a stock vintage P bass.
Yeah, if this was $4,000, I would not.
Like, we've definitely seen a lot of guitars mangled a lot worse. Like this this all looks functional. It's just unusual.
And I will say, like, looking at reverb I did a search for 1969 Precision bass, and I'm getting a whole bunch of years, and I'm getting everywhere from the lowest price of like a refinished one at $2,800.
Wow.
The most expensive one is like $20,000.
Right. So who knows?
But some of that's like, if it was a 65, 66, they're going to demand more than a later one. Here's one that
this could be $4,000 because they're like, normally this would be $20,000, but we did all this stuff. Yeah, that one's wild. It's got a mudbucker in the neck and then a J bass pickup in the bridge with the P bass pickup still in the middle. You're gonna have to put that in the drive. You show me something. Show me something cool that we talk about. You have to put it in the drive, Steve. That's what you get for showing me stuff. Is you got to do 30 seconds of work. But like, there's two types of bassists that I've known in my life. There's the bassists that are just kind of like, oh yeah, I have a P bass or I have a jazz bass, and this is my bass, and I just kind of, maybe I put a thumb rest on it. If I feel crazy, I'm gonna put a thumb rest on this bass. And then there's the bassists that are like, I want experimental prototype optical pickups,
right?
And I need to have like this built-in EQ section and preamp thing into my bass. Oh, also it has to be 7-string, but not in the way you think. It's actually it's a 3-string with an extra string, and the other strings are doubles. Like there's these bassists out there that just come up with like the wildest stuff, and I think there's enough of those people out there that someone out there will see this and they will want it.
Yeah,
like this isn't so off the beaten path for that type of bassist that it's unsellable. Like, we cover a lot of weird guitars that are mangled that are functionally unsellable. I think a bassist would buy this if it was the right price. I think, like I said, 25% lower. If it was maybe even if it was close to $3,000, I think there'd be someone out there who would be like, vintage and fretless. Yeah, if I don't like the pickups, I like the look of the pickups. I've always wanted to do that. But if I don't like the pickups, I have a buddy who cuts pick guards and I can take it back to normal or something like that. You know, I think that guy is out there, or that lady is out there.
That's the second time you've said, I know somebody who cuts pick guards. Again, I think you could just put on a regular old.
Do you think a regular P-base pick guard would fit over this? I'm trying to remember what a P-base looks like.
It looks a lot like this. It's got some more curves to it. But unless there's a really unusual routing going on,
I don't know. I think that lowest pickup that's going under the low E.
Maybe that's added some empty space.
I think that route is going to cut into that a little bit. But I think it is mostly reversible.
Yeah,
it's mostly reversible, which is pretty good. Like you could get this, and in that space where there's an open route, you could be like, yeah, it's a vintage P bass that's fretless, but I put a Music Man Stingray pickup in it. I put a big old fat humbucker and just moved it down an inch to fill up that space. You know, like you could get moddy with this. It's a vintage bass that is inviting you to get moddy.
The fact that this kind of drops in here, like that it's an 80s Greco / Maxon pickup, I'm kind of, it might be fine. They might be total duds. It's hard to say. That's probably the weakest part of this, just on paper to me.
Sure.
That, and I don't really want a defretted.
Well, yeah,
bass, but
people who want defretted basses,
people who
want weird dumb stuff.
Wow.
And I'm saying
Tell us how you really feel.
I'm saying that as someone who loves weird dumb stuff. Like I'm like, look, I've been playing around with this recently. Like I like weird dumb stuff.
That's very weird and dumb.
For the listeners of the podcast, who all of a sudden I've remembered this episode that you're still out there.
Yeah.
Those going strong listening to the audio. I picked up the Harley Benton kit guitar I put together like 2 years ago. It was COVID times when I put that together.
If you listen to the audio of this podcast, I know that many of you have been getting the Spotify ads, and I hope you enjoy them.
We enjoy the money that we got from them. We just got paid out $100 from what?
We really appreciate. That's 1 month.
That's 1 month.
That's 1 month.
That's from you guys, the Spotify listeners, the audio podcast listeners. We made $100. Where before we were paying for podcast hosting.
Yeah, we were paying like $30 a month, I think.
Spotify, what you're doing for podcasts, do it for musicians. Pay them.
I know.
Please. Like we do not get anywhere the amount of plays that any major like performing artist, like musical recorded artist gets on Spotify. And I'm positive we made more money than the vast majority of famous artists on Spotify.
Unfortunately,
that's messed up.
That is the current track. I'm sure at some point they will raise their standards and we will no longer.
Of course. They're just trying to get us all migrated over there and then they'll cut us off. Obviously, we know the game.
Yeah. But speaking of podcasts, Ryan, the people who support this show, whether it's through listening or directly, if you want to support us directly, you can through Patreon. That supports this show. It supports the DIY pedal video you did came out with this week.
Well, it supported the UPS box that allowed people to mail stuff to us. Like we pay $350 a year or something for the UPS box, and the Patreons make that possible. Like that would be significant for us to do out of pocket to get, random t-shirts and stickers. Sometimes
you can do,
and I'm not going to give you my home address.
We have all kinds of tiers. We have 25 all the way up to $25, but we also, even though Patreon told us not to, we have kept open our $1 tier. So folks like this could sign up and support us at the $1 level. Ben O'Neill and Justin Jolkowski. Thanks, guys.
Thank you
for supporting us.
Ben and Justin.
This year we made a concerted effort to, I think, post a little more behind the scenes stuff directly to the Patreon
We should
page.
Still do a lot more.
And I had this idea that I have not talked to you about yet.
Drop it on me.
I had this idea that maybe we post a topic call out and we start doing a monthly single topic Patreon episode.
You're putting a lot of faith in the Patreons right now for us to commit to using one of their suggestions.
Well, no, I'm just saying it would just be a Patreon exclusive episode, maybe
Just for them?
just for them, just one episode a month. That's a bare minimum, man. And it'd just be an extra like 10 or 15 minutes that we would record after we're done. It wouldn't even have to be a video. It could just be audio. It's a thought I had. We can talk about it.
I'll let that roll around in my head a little bit.
We can develop this a little more and see if it's got legs.
I'm of the opinion that it's better to make content for everyone, but give the Patreons credit for funding it than it is for us to overextend ourselves and make poor quality content that's just for the Patreons.
I don't disagree.
You know, like rushed, like, okay, we have to do
right.
this.
And so maybe that's where that's a bad idea. I'm just more thinking along the lines of, I'd like to make some kind of content that maybe is extra dumb, but it's just for patrons.
Sure. Okay. All right.
So maybe a topic call out is too serious. Maybe it needs to be something extra dumb. I don't know. I don't know what that looks like.
We'll talk about it.
But speaking of things that aren't extra dumb, this episode is brought to you by Chase Bliss.
That's right, Steve. I want to show you something.
What are you going to show me or show them?
This is the pedal board that I use in every demo of every guitar in case I need to throw on some effects or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And on this pedal board are two Chase Bliss pedals.
Wow.
We have got the Dark World for my ambient kind of like octavey shimmery sort of things. And we've got the Gravitas.
Yeah.
For my tremolo sounds after, a spring reverb sort of thing. I use Chase Bliss pedals all the time. I haven't been playing at church anymore, but at church I was using Chase Bliss pedals all the time. I'm tangled up now.
Good job.
There we go. But like, I know a lot of you probably look at Chase Bliss pedals like, I don't know if I'll even use those. There's so many features. They have all those dip switches. You could dial in thousands and thousands of sounds with those things. What am I going to do with that? Do what I do. Pick your favorite sound and leave it there. You don't have to use all of it. Just use the part that you like.
You don't even have to pick your favorite sound. You can pick your favorite, like 3 sounds.
Sure,
I think,
they have presets.
Like they have a couple presets that don't even require a MIDI controller.
They just came out with a new thing. I haven't even gotten around to watching a video for the dang thing.
Oh, the Lossy?
The Lossy.
The Lossy.
It's pink.
Yeah.
I'll put a picture of it up. I need to go watch a video to learn what it's all about. I bet it makes you sound like I bet it makes you sound like you've lost fidelity.
Damn.
That's what's going on.
So check that out. Ryan will go check it out at chasebliss.com. Also, this feels tacky, but I'm going to do it anyway. If you were affiliated with any of the other companies you saw on that pedal board and you're like, hey, why didn't they talk about us? Well, maybe you should ask yourself that question.
Yeah. Look inside yourself.
Ryan, this was sent to us by Jason W. Moore.
We like all those companies, by the way. It's because Chase Bliss is a sponsor. Like, it's not because we have anything against. Like, I just want to be clear. Like, we don't have grudges against those companies.
That was supposed to be. That was what I was implying.
You want to notice how we didn't mention you? Other companies on the pedal board, like Pelican Noiseworks, is because we have a grudge against you.
That was not the implication. The implication was just
okay.
All right. We're going to be talking about Pelican Noiseworks a lot. I have a feeling in 2024.
Yeah,
wink,
maybe sooner.
Wink, nudge, nudge.
Maybe later. I know it. The 50-50 is. I've already been telling people because people have been asking.
You posted the pictures on the Patreon.
No, I posted a picture to the Facebook group because someone made a post and like, oh, is there ever going to be a 50-50? Like, no. And I sent a picture of. I sent a cropped little piece of the art that's off to print. They're in print right now. If we want to do a real Patreon push. The inner circle is going to get first dibs on those.
Yeah.
And
it's been so long since we've done it. Depending on the size of the run, there might not be any.
They'll either sell out immediately or no one's interested anymore.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
Roll your dice. But I haven't talked to Leon about this yet. But if he's down, like, I'm just going to tell him to, like, just make more. Just you know, it doesn't have to be one run. Just make more. Just keep making more. You know, we'll figure out the details. I should probably chat with Leon before
Inner Circle
publishing
gets
this.
first dibs and a discounted price.
So
yeah, we need to figure out if it's going to be the same.
Leon and I have already discussed that.
Okay.
It won't be because inflation.
Yeah.
But
I didn't figure.
And also we're using a higher quality case this time. We're getting fancy. Yeah, it's not that fancy. Don't act like it's going to be like some sort of extravagant thing. It's just a different case.
It's from you're working with F5 now, right?
Yeah,
Instead of which they make very high quality cases. This ad was sent by Jason W. Moore. They are a Philadelphia Phillies and a Philadelphia Eagles strap bodies for $150 each. Eagles or Phillies faux finished bleacher strat bodies made from 200-year-old pine flooring from Siegel Guitars, $150 each in Doylestown, presumably Pennsylvania.
I want to ask you, Steve.
Yes.
Clearly, these are sports guitars.
They are sports guitars.
What do you think my feelings are on these? Predict what I'm going to say about these guitars.
I'm thinking about it. I think you're going to say that you like the cutout things on the back. They fail the art test, both of them. Well, yeah, they kind of fail art tests in different ways.
Do you think I like them or dislike them?
I think overall you are going to say that you like them, especially for $150.
I do like them. I like the green one a lot. I don't care about the sports stuff at all. Like, belt sand that off, and like the green one with the center white stripe, and the green panels going out at an angle like that. Mm-hmm. Paint the whole top and bottom wings of that green, matching the same way, and just leave the center white stripe. And I actually really like that. I like that look a lot.
Okay.
I don't really care about the red one too much. Like that combination of that pattern doesn't do anything to excite me. But I really like the green one. I saw it and I was like, ooh, that's handsome. Oh, it's got sports stuff on it. I don't know what any of that is, but I like the guitar itself.
The Eagles are a football team. The Phillies are a baseball team.
Oh, so they're not even the same sport?
No, they're just both Philadelphia teams.
I assumed that they were rivals.
Oh, no.
That's how little I know. I legitimately thought, oh, must be same sport. I didn't even question whether or not it was the same sport. I was like, oh, they must be rivals. Like towns over.
I mean, something like this would make more sense. Like if you were selling this in LA and one of them was like an Angels one and the other one was a Dodgers one, because at least it's kind of like two teams in the same sport in the same town.
Okay.
But yeah, this is for the ultimate Philadelphia sports fan. I
don't have a lot else to say about it. The description said that it's made out of vintage floorboards, right?
Yeah.
That's cool, I guess. You know, I don't mind that detail at all. I kind of don't like the deep cuts in the back of the green one. Like, it's trying a little bit too hard to be rustic with that detail.
Right.
The cavity covers, I kind of wish they were sunk instead of floating.
It is weird to me that they're not sunk. I don't know why that is.
The person doing this this level of woodworking has the ability to sink those, and I just wish they would.
Yeah.
But, you know, like $150 each. I'm not in the place to build a guitar right now from parts. But that look for $150, if he could do that on a Jazzmaster, and I could be like, hey, can you countersink in the things? I'd pay $200 if you can do that. I don't know. I like that look quite a bit. If I could go a little bit custom with this guy, I might entertain that thought. If I'm not saying I'm going to, if I was in the market for doing a project right now.
Yeah. This company's been around. I'm looking at some of their stuff on the old Facebook. They've got some really cool body shapes.
If you see something really cool, make sure you screen grab it, Steve.
I'm not going to describe it too much. Y'all can just look it up. Siegel Guitars, Siegle.
Thank you for spelling it. That is an odd spelling.
Yeah, there's some interesting things here, and so I mean, and to that, I think it looks like that. For $150 for it's hard to beat $150 for a strap body in general, unless you're just, you're buying a Squire part kind of a thing.
Yeah, no, like $150 is like you're just getting started on eBay looking at bodies. That is the beginning price. And maybe these are cut super weird and we just can't tell looking at them. Like it won't take any fender neck. And it is a little bit of a bummer to me that there's no trim route or anything like that. There's not even placement for the bridge.
Oh, yeah, there's not even bridge placement.
You have to figure that out for yourself, which isn't... I always feel iffy doing it, but then like the times that I've had to place bridges, I haven't screwed it up, which is surprising. So I know that I can do it. I just always feel iffy doing it.
That's an interesting point. If you pick this up, you'd have to drill the holes for the neck. You'd have to really template everything through.
You just, the neck is a set measurement. Your scale is set with the neck. So as long as you're getting straight edges down the neck, down the sides of the neck, into the body, it's not hard to mark where the bridge is supposed to be.
For the bridge, yeah. I'm saying like you have to actually drill the holes for your neck.
That's not hard either.
It's very hard for me.
Someone was getting on me for that because I did a video where I was teasing that I was going to put the aluminum neck on the SX Liquid. And the problem with the aluminum neck is that you can't re-drill holes into the neck. So you have to move the holes that are in the neck heel on the body. Mm-hmm. And to do that, you either have to do some math and some very fine measurements, or you do what I do and you paint the back of the aluminum neck and press it into the neck heel, and it leaves an indentation.
That's smart.
That's what I did last time I set it up in a neck, and it worked perfect.
That's super smart.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, maybe you could take... you could have, if you had some kind of screw that you just like cut the head off of or whatever, or like you just paint the screw or something, and then you could put the screws in the neck and then press that.
Oh yeah, like leave an indentation. Yeah,
something like that. But that's smart too.
With the paint, you can push it all the way deep into the pocket and kind of wiggle it around a little bit and give yourself like a wide enough range to be like, it should be in the center of that, you know. That's what I did last time, and it worked out.
Going back to these $150, I think these look good. I think they're in a state where if you did not have the skills to do all of those other things, or you didn't have the equipment, it'd be kind of questionable. But I'm going to say this, if you are a sports fan, like this looks quality to me.
If they look cool.
If there was a Padres one, I'd be kind of like, oh, do I need that? Like $150, like for kind of like some fun sports art. I know we say like,
what color? Okay,
I don't need to be reminded that you are a guitar, player through guitar art, but they kind of scratches two itches at once.
Sure. Because I live in San Diego, I am aware of the various different color palettes that the Padres have used over the years. Which color palette would you go for the brown and yellow?
The current one. The brown and yellow.
Oh, is brown and yellow current?
Brown and gold, as they call it.
Have they gone back to brown?
They've gone back to... So the 70s one was more like brown and yellow.
Right.
But yeah, the current one...
I had no idea. I thought they were still doing the white, blue, and orange.
Nope.
Wow, when did that stop?
2-3 years ago.
Really? Good for them.
So that's like their current home uniform.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little different than like the 70s brown and gold.
No, it's a serious nod.
But it's definitely like in that ballpark.
Honestly, brown and yellow are colors that represent San Diego well.
Yeah, that's their road grays.
All right.
So gray, brown, and I call it yellow. They want to call it gold.
Great.
It can be gold when you win a freaking World Series, okay, Padres?
Are you telling me they're grays in the streets and browns in the sheets.
No, they're what?
they're road grays.
Road gray. Oh, so because they do this in all the sports where like you have a standard home uniform and a standard away uniform.
All right.
So in baseball, at home you wear white, like a white dominated uniform typically, and on the road you wear a gray dominant uniform.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, it's true what they say. You learn something new about baseball every single day.
Ryan, how many times a day do you when's the last time you thought about baseball?
The last time
you
and I ended up talking about it.
How many
Steve.
times a day do you think about baseball?
I don't ever think about baseball.
I definitely think about baseball more than I think about the Roman Empire. Ryan.
But a brown and gold take on this.
Yeah.
That'd be attractive. Would you like if you were going to do the same kind of layout as the green one, would the wings be gold or would the wings be brown?
That's tough.
Here's my vote. Gold wings, brown center stripe, yellow pickups. Get that contrast going.
I think you'd have to go gold wings, brown center stripe too, because you'd want the SD where the eagle is, that eagle. If you wanted like the Padres SD logo,
you want it to be gold.
You want that in gold, and then some yellow, some matching yellow.
I wouldn't normally say this, but gold hardware.
That's tough. Gold hardware on yellow accents, because you're not going to match.
Is it too much? It's too much.
I think it just might be hard to match.
You're probably right,
but who knows?
Yeah, it wouldn't be hard to find like yellow knobs and stuff.
But
too.
like I could just see like having the body on my wall. Like
this is $150 for a wall decoration. If you're a man cavern,
my home office. that I share with my kid.
Man caverns.
We got anything else on this?
I don't think so.
I don't think we do either. Ryan, let's open some mail, man.
Good idea. Both of them?
While you grab that, we'll open both of them. Do you have a what's new? You said you didn't.
I don't think I do. I could talk about band stuff, but it's kind of like boring.
Is it? I don't think people will think it's boring.
Maybe we'll save it for next episode.
But what I was going to say is I built a new pedal board. I forgot to put in the description that it was an Super Rich Steve pedal board. Did I tell you that there's a theme on that pedal board? I told a couple other people
I don't think you did, Steve.
It's actually a themed pedal board. They are the pedals that I have owned the longest without ever really playing. There are 3 pedals on that board that I bought in 2017 that I played for the first time this past week.
Steve, you got a problem. I was telling Steve that he needs to do a video of just all the pedals he owns, and he can do a pile of the ones that he's never played.
Well, now I don't have any of those pedals because I've played them.
Oh, you've played them all. Good for you.
Here. You didn't break through over here.
Got to break on through to the other side.
Break on through to the other side.
That felt sketchy. I didn't like doing any of that. I'm bad at cutting, apparently, when there's another person sitting next to me. Yeah, rip the box, Steve. Show it who's boss. You're using a pen?
Dude, super effective. Except
this is embarrassing.
There's another one.
This is crossed the line and embarrassing. This first package is from Johnny Ronke. Ronce?
I don't know. Hopefully
He's from Warwick, Rhode Island. What did he send us? I'll let you read, Steve. We got a CD here.
Dear Ryan, Merry Surfing Christmas to you and your fam, man. Just wanted to send you a little Christmas fun that I found long ago, back in the late 90s, working in a department store called Ann and Hope's Garden Shop selling Christmas trees. I drove all the cashiers nuts blasting this over the entire intercom of our side of the store all season. We broke every Mariah Christmas tape that they kept stealing from the music department, and it was Surfing Christmas or the Chipmunks Christmas, also a classic. Back on. After my first year, I bought my own copy of Surfing Christmas, and when it comes this time of year again, and my other half starts with the Christmas songs, I make her put this on once in a while to give me 97, 98 happy moments. I don't know how the heck this obscure surf band's amazing Christmas album got in a Warwick, Rhode Island department store, but I'm happy it did and thought you would too. Please know dudes like me are out there here appreciating what you and guys like Mike Adams do. You guys and other channels like you good people are the soundtrack of my day-to-day life out there working and 80s wrestling. I listen all my days to everything music gear channel related, fixing housing and doing what I do to quote, keep the lights on, so to speak, helps ground me and make me continue to remember at the end of the day, I'm still me. Been wanting to have a channel for about 10 years now. It's bound to happen. Time availability isn't something I have lots of though these days, but it's coming. So Johnny says he's been an active musician for 30 plus years in Rhode Island, been here and there and everywhere, doing a whole bunch of stuff. His number one guitar is a 95 MIJ Fender Jag, as well as a Jag Baritone Custom 6. So very cool. This is a copy of the album he made. That's what he's talking about with it. He made that album, and he says it's all one big crazy rock music package with music styles all over the place.
I've been thinking, I've got a vinyl player console set up in my a dining room, family room area. I've been thinking I need to get myself a dedicated CD player and maybe get an old school CD envelope because people keep sending us CDs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind throwing on CD, start collecting some physical media. It's been a long time since I collected CDs.
Yeah, I don't even own a CD. So whenever we send CDs home, I don't have anything to do with them. I don't own a CD player.
The collection of CDs I used to own is gone because I used to take it to the beach and play them through a boombox and sand got in the thing and they were all wrecked. They were all wrecked. It was over.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not worth saving any of these. We're in the age of MP3s where I download stuff now, but there's something nice about putting on physical media from time to time. So yeah, I should probably buy myself a CD player and connect it up to the console speakers. Oh, we've got. Did you open the other box?
Do we want to do it now? I figured
Let's do it now. Let's do it now. Why not?
This was sent by Andrew Adkins from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
What do we have here? This one was heavy. I think there's fluid in this box.
Gear fluid, pod fluid.
Pod lubricant.
Founder's French Toast Bastard.
French Toast Bastard?
Vanilla cinnamon maple bourbon barreled Scotch ale.
You think it's a 6-pack or 4-pack?
I think it's a 4. These are Founder sells in 4-packs.
So we'll have to stick these in the fridge for next time.
Yeah, there's a 4-pack of them. Very cool. Thanks, Andrew.
Vanilla cinnamon maple French toast beer. That's gotta be delicious.
Says a treat from the Midwest. Happy holidays, Andrew Adkins.
A respectable 11%.
Yikes.
That
sounds like a good time.
That's not crazy for a lot of what the breweries around here do. But
it's pretty up there.
It's up there. It's on the spicy side.
Founders does some other heavy stuff. They're pretty well known for the barrel aging.
Take one home.
Okay.
We'll leave 3 here. We'll each have one at home when we feel like it, and we'll have the other 2 in 2 weeks next time we record.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good time.
Good plan, right? We figured it out.
Yeah,
thanks to everyone that sent us stuff. The address has been up here. I just did that DIY try video. I want to try more DIY pedals. If you are a DIY builder and you're making something interesting, something weird, something unhinged, something people might think is broken, that's exactly what I want to check out. So think about sending in your DIY creations and I'll make a video playing around with them. Something to think about.
Just think about it.
Just think about it for a little while. Come on. Just send the boy some pedals. All he wants is your pedals.
What Limp Bizkit song is that?
I don't know.
Just think about it.
Is that a Limp Bizkit song?
I think so.
I don't know, man. I tuned out of all new metal.
Dude, I
was in college and I was too cool when new metal came around.
So was I. I was not in college, but I was too cool. I have gone back. I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago. Maybe not on the show though. I've been finding that that late 90s, early 2000s new metal rap rock is really good workout music.
Oh, sure.
It's really dumb.
It's like the definition of jock jams.
But when you're trying to push through that last half mile and all of a sudden you hit Limp Bizkit break stuff, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna break my body right now.
Like, and I'll be fair. New metal has some hooky bangers. Like, they've got some bangers with hooks. Like, they do. But there was a period of time where, like, music, media, like radio, TV, everywhere where music was, got saturated.
Yeah.
And it was,
Yeah.
you could not get away from it. And if it's your style, that's great. If it's kind of not your style, it's like, that's a little bit annoying. If it's definitely not your style, it's like, I've got to escape culture.
Mm-hmm.
I have to escape to the woods because this has gone too far. And I was pretty close to being at that point with new metal.
What I found is that because I pretty much only listen to those kinds of bands, Static X, Power Man 5000.
I mean, if
other great workout music.
If a Korn song comes on the radio, I'm not going to flick away from it. But it's because now I can get that in small doses.
Exactly.
In 2002 or 2003 or whatever, it was like you could not escape that.
It's a choice that I make where I say for the next however long this album is, I am listening to this style of music, and maybe I'll do that one or two other times this week, and I will not do it at any other time except for this 30 to 50 minute window, and that's it. It's the perfect small dose. Ryan, do you think Stringjoy listens to new metal?
Stringjoy listens to every type of music that there is. And if you use their strings, they'll listen to your band too. That is a promise I'm making for them. You want to get listens on your track? Just use Stringjoy strings. Email Stringjoy and say, I used your strings on this track. I guarantee you someone at Stringjoy is going to listen.
Wow.
I have no way of backing up that guarantee, but I guarantee
it's a big promise. It's a very big, very silly promise.
And there's at least two people who work over there, so that's two plays.
Yeah.
No,
there's at least we've met four.
Have I met four?
I've met 4 Stringjoy employees.
Okay, all right. I've probably met them too.
Which were the 4 that they brought to NAMM.
I'm on a first name
basis. I'm sure
basis.
there are more.
I'm on a first name basis with 2 of them.
With 2 of them, yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm on a first name basis with the same 2.
Yes.
Craft in Nashville, Tennessee, Planet Cities Worldwide. They sponsor this wacky content. These are the Orbiters. They're on my Les Paul. They still sound great. It's been at least a month since the last time I said that, and they still sound and feel great on my Les Paul. That just like lives in the world. It does not live in a case. It lives in the world, and the strings are holding up just fine. Go check them out. Use our link in the description and use code HUM for 10% off.
I just restrung this.
You did.
I just did.
With Stringjoys.
See, that's the problem, Steve. I didn't.
Okay.
And I'm not happy with the strings. I started to grab it and like, oh yeah, you didn't use Stringjoy strings on that. I was like, oh yeah, you instantly hated them. So I'm not going to say whose strings I used on this, but they weren't Stringjoy. And I wish I had used a set of the Orbiters because that would have been much more preferable to me. And now I feel wasteful because I used a pack of strings that I don't like the pack of strings, but I could have given them away or something. I could have given them to a hungry kid. I don't know. Like,
you could have done all kinds. Did you say to a hungry kid?
What? I feel bad because I didn't use Stringjoy strings. If I had used Stringjoy strings, I would have felt good.
I thought we had like a tight 60 on this, and then you just added on another.
That's a powerful pitch, Steve.
It is a good pitch.
I just won advertising with that pitch.
And the Addy goes to.
I actually forget what the advertisement awards are called. I used to know that.
Why does my pen keep dying? That's annoying. Ryan, do you like to pick your own fruit? This week's topic, does Ryan pick his fruit?
Does Ryan pick his fruit? Okay, there's the clickbait. Does Ryan pick his fruit? Michael Krause asks, are pedal kits like pick your own fruits for guitar nerds? You know, like it's winter now, but it was fall previously. And when it turns fall, people drive out to the country. They drive a full hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes, to go out to pay I don't know how much, 40, 50 bucks to go fill up a basket full of apples that they picked themselves from the orchard because it's a fun, romantic thing to do. Maybe building your own tube screamer from a kit is a fun, romantic thing to do. I think you might have a point. Like, it's way more effort. It's oftentimes greater cost. Maybe that doesn't translate.
It shouldn't be greater. Well, okay.
It's definitely greater time cost.
It is greater time cost.
Think about what you're spending in gas to get the apples. Like, I think that
no, the apples are definitely greater cost.
I think the apples far exceed the cost comparison. It's not, no metaphor is perfect.
What
okay?
What I was gonna say is if I wanted to build a kit tube screamer, if I bought a kit, I'm gonna pay whatever the cost of the kit is plus my time to assemble it. But you
also have to buy a soldering iron.
Okay, yeah, I'm not thinking about tools.
Yeah.
You have to buy a magnifying glass, and you have to buy one of those things that Robert McDowell gave us that holds the PCB for you.
And you have to buy Brian Wampler's book.
Yeah.
Even though you're using a kit and you're not building from scratch. You don't even understand what all this stuff does. You're just doing a kit.
And you have to buy desoldering braid or a solder sucker because you're going to fuck it up.
You definitely are. I actually took a peek at the DIY subreddit.
Yeah.
Tons of posts of people like, can I fix this?
Yeah, no.
Did I toast this? Is this over?
I mean, like I built that tremolo where the preamp works great and the tremolo doesn't work at all. So I gave up.
Yeah. So you gotta build 3 pedals to get a working one. So there's that. Yeah, it cost you $20 to build the one that worked.
I didn't realize that that's what Michael Kraus was asking.
You thought he was just asking if I pick my own fruit?
No, I thought he was saying like you could like pick your own fruit. Like you get to like, I really like this apple, so I'm going to get this. I didn't think of it from like the,
from going to an orchard?
Like a U-Pick orchard where you're going to pay, like $20. The freaking one that we go to, even if you're just going there because it's become such a photo op,
right?
You have to pay just to walk around.
People don't go to these things for the apples. They go for the photo op. Let's be honest. They go to take their family pictures for the holidays. Like, we were in an orchard. We saw a donkey.
The last 2 times that we went apple picking, I think we basically came home. One year we came home and said, oh, maybe we'll make an apple pie with these apples eventually, and it never happened.
The trick is sauce. You want to do applesauce.
Applesauce is that
because then you can do like a lot and save it.
Last year, or the last time we went, the apples were like not really like, it was not a good year for apples.
Great.
And also in San Diego, the apple orchards that they have, they're not freaking red. They're not like store apples. They're these tiny little like,
right.
They're pie apples. They're little.
Right.
They're very tart.
They're not. We're talking about Julian, California.
Yeah.
Which is our like kind of mountain, small town. Everyone goes there when a cold breeze goes through the mountains and they want to buy apple pie that they waited way too long in line for. And they could have stayed home and made an apple pie.
They distribute those apple pies to like all of the Sprouts stores, so you don't even need to go there.
There is a hard apple cider company that named themselves after Julian
and got sued by Julian
because they didn't actually do anything in Julian.
Yeah,
they set up a tasting room, but they didn't use any apples from there. They didn't like brew anything there.
It's actually brewed in Oregon.
So, anyways, the apples they grow in Julian aren't being used for the pies.
Are they? I don't know. Are they not?
No. The apples they grow in Julian are just for people to pick them.
Oh my gosh.
They don't. That's not a commercial orchard.
I don't know, man. Are there no commercial orchards?
No.
In San Diego?
Well, maybe in San Diego,
but not in Julian.
Not in Julian.
It's very disappointing.
Practical that would be.
I have no idea, dude.
There actually might not be commercial orchards, like apple orchards in San Diego, because apples need cold weather.
Right. Apparently, there's commercial orchards in Oregon because that's where all the cideries are.
Yeah, because you got a lot of cold weather up there. Yeah. They're famous for their Macintosh apples.
Well, so anyway, like putting it in that perspective.
Welcome to the Apple Podcast.
Kind of, yes. I agree with with that perception. I think if you are doing I think if like the BYOC kits, they usually include some like fun options that you wouldn't get from like a normal, like if you do their Tube Screamer kit, it's going to come with like some extra parts that allows you to like switch between like 3 different kinds of Tube Screamer, and you're going to pay like the same amount that you'd pay for an off the shelf, and you're going to get a couple more options, and it's a fun learning experience.
If you're
you're getting that like little fun whatever out of it. Here's the thing, going to Apple Orchard, it's not fun. My experience is very unique because I have a kid who all she wants to do when we go there is run for half an hour straight, which means I have to run for half an hour straight. Right.
No, no, I think it's BS too. I enjoy hanging out. Like the times that I've done it, I haven't done it with kids. I wouldn't. I'm not interested. I've done it with friends. We've gone up with friend groups. Like, hey, let's go. What if we were crazy and picked apples? Let's go pick apples. Yeah. And then of course the girlfriends and the wives or whatever want to take, like fall photos or whatever. And then you go and you buy a bottle of hard cider and a pie and you get diabetes, Yeah. Or you go get some barbecue down the road or whatever.
Yeah, it's a fun date thing because you do the apple thing and then you walk across the parking lot to the whiner, like the little winery shack on the other side of the parking lot, and you do a 3 or 4 glass wine tasting. Then you drive 2 hours down the mountain, semi-blitz.
That's not driving.
It's a real good time.
Gravity's doing the work, baby. When I was a teenager,
I'm not off-road. This is a shortcut.
When I was a teenager, my mom was into going to those orchards and doing the self-pick thing. Yeah. But it was a different vibe than one we went to, where it was more like, we don't feel like picking these apples. Like $5, here's a basket, go get it. It didn't have this huge like Instagram element to it yet. It was just like, oh, this is a thing homeschool kids do. So we would go out and pick like a serious amount of apples from this orchard, and then it turned into like another homeschooling activity of like, let's see how much applesauce we can make. It's so much better than store-bought. It was good. But it's because we put more cinnamon in it. You could literally you can take the applesauce from the grocery store and add more cinnamon and you get the same thing. Maybe the chunks are a little bit finer in the store-bought, but come on, it's the same stuff. Yeah. So, but to flip on the pedals thing, because if you're just sourcing the parts, you're sourcing all the individual components yourself. Yeah. I know that you can build a pedal for $20. I know you're screaming it in the comments. Every pedal builder is like, I built this for $20. We know, we believe you. We believe you. Is that what you guys want to hear? Is that we believe you? Because we do believe you.
Remember when bigger pedals would just sell you a box of $20 in random parts?
Yeah, it was like, here's the parts, build something. Yeah. The flip on that, it is a lot more challenging to build a parts guitar and end up with something better that you could buy commercially for the same money. More work is involved. They have the price because, like with pedals, you can buy stuff from a shop that doesn't know you're building pedals. Right? They're you're like, you're just like, Warmoth has it figured out. By the time you're piecing out a guitar, it's going to be the same or more, especially after your labor cost, more than just buying a Fender. Yeah, when you're picking. You're picking a flamed neck or you're picking bird's eye, this or that. You're getting purple heart stripes through the body.
No one gets those anymore.
I know. But like you're dreaming about it because you grew up during that era or whatever. You're thinking about wild pickups and pick guards and some fancy bridge and stuff like that. Even if you're buying the cheapest of the cheap kits. Yeah. You're going to pay $120 for a kit when you could go buy $150 guitar. Like I've got the Leo James up there, Leo Jams Telly up there. That was $150. You cannot get a kit.
I think
that will give you a guitar that's as good as that.
The Mustang Bullets are $200 now or $190.
They were like $180 or something. Yeah.
But they're in that ballpark.
You're going to pay the same for a kit as you will for a cheap guitar or for any guitar that's going to be comparable. If you're paying for good parts, you're paying the same.
Yeah, that kit doesn't come with paint.
No, it does not. And you're not going to paint it as good. And if you are painting it as good, it's because you have invested in a serious rig.
Yeah.
Like you have invested. Like I know people can do it with rattle can, but come on. Like we've seen most rattle can finishes. You can tell. Be honest. Be honest, guys. We can tell. I've done rattle can finishes. I can tell. Let's be honest with ourselves this episode. We're finally getting to the core of what we've been dealing with, and we're going to be honest with ourselves.
506 episodes and finally some honesty.
Finally some honesty in podcasting.
Yeah, like I said, I think if you I think that I think there's some Zen elements to building your own pedals. I think that there's a lot of...
It's entertainment. It's fun.
Yeah.
I think there's a cool thing to do. It's a smart thing to do. It's like an educational thing.
Now that I understand the context of this question better, I think I would rather build a pedal on a Saturday than go.
Well, yeah. Honey, you take the kids to the apples. I'm going to stay home and build a pedal.
Yeah.
You know. Can we go to the pedal building orchard?
Right.
What if there was a place?
Just pick your own parts.
Steve, let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be honest with ourselves right now.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a place that was an hour and a half drive away, and when we got there, we got to pick a pedal kit. We paid $40.
Would we go once a year?
We go once a year. We take a picture afterwards. Like, look what I built. I got to decorate it with seasonal little decorations and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
You have to admit, you'd be a little bit more stoked than the apples.
Yeah, you're right.
And there's other people there who are stoked about building some little pedals and getting all festive. It's a pedal building holiday. Steve, tell me that you wouldn't drive an hour and a half to be part of the pedal building festival.
I mean, I
holiday
already
celebration.
Drive an hour and a half to come here.
I know.
So.
Well, yeah,
I drive an hour and a half to go to work, and then
I'm close to your work. If you ever change the jobs, we're going straight to live streaming like that.
Well, I'll still probably be working somewhere in San Diego.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to predict.
Ryan.
Uh-huh.
This last ad was sent by Andrew Smith. It's called Total Racket.
This is a total racket. Are you kidding me?
Is there a description? No, there's
not.
Is there
not a description?
There's not a description. We don't know how much this costs.
I thought for sure there was a description. Damn it. I screen grabbed everything else.
Let's see if I can find the email.
I actually looked this up on eBay.
You looked this up on eBay?
So, a tennis caster. You will be able to find it. I'm so sorry, guys. I dropped the ball.
I mean, Andrew did send a full set of pictures. While you look for it, I'm just going to read this. One of the very cool parts of owning a guitar shop and going to guitar shows is the treasures you find. I chased this guitar for 20 years. The fellow that had it was a former major guitar manufacturer employee. He was a very high muckety muck in the company at one time. Okay, he's talking about Dean Zielinski, whatever. No, I don't know. He told me that this mock-up model guitar was created as a teaser to get a very famous tennis player to endorse it. Oh my God. The plan was to create a tennis caster, and it was to be called the Johnny Mac model. The major guitar manufacturer considered it for a minute and then decided the money would be better spent making knockoffs in Asia. The guitar itself is a short scale neck grafted to a Prince tennis racket. The electronics work, although it seems the tone pots work in reverse. Will need setup work. Is that a real story?
I don't know.
It was intended to be a prototype and was never made to be an everyday player. It could possibly be a very expensive wall hanger. Possibly this is the very rarest prototype to ever come out of this major manufacturer. Please look over the pictures carefully. Ask all of the questions you have. This entire listing above is total baloney. The part describing the guitar is accurate. I purchased this guitar from a guy named Tony from New Jersey. I sell guitars as described.
I was about to roast this dude.
Ask questions, please. Need more pictures? Just let me know. This is basically an as-is sale, so please look everything over. Yada, yada, yada. The guitar. Try and get a chuckle out of this listing. I definitely did. The guitar business gets so serious.
You legitimately got
sometimes.
me.
I was like, and they want $10,000 for this.
Right. They don't actually.
Well, it's 10,000 or best offer.
Or best offer. They're hoping for $175. I was gonna say, like, I do not. I could swallow the story that someone at a guitar company did this. I don't accept the story that they tried to pitch it as like a production thing, but oh boo-hoo, they decided to make import guitars.
You know
who
Johnny Mac is, right?
I don't.
Johnny Mac is John McEnroe.
I have heard that name.
Yeah, he's been in a bunch of movies, always playing angry tennis guy because he was a famously very good and angry tennis guy.
Oh, okay.
Like he was very famous for smashing his tennis rackets. So I could only imagine what he would do to this guitar if he played the wrong note.
I picked this purely because we haven't seen it before. We've seen a million toilet guitars. We've seen a bunch of like pieces of random driftwood and burlwood turned into guitars. We've seen all sorts of things. We've seen every Star Wars toy turned into a guitar. I haven't seen a tennis racket turned into a guitar when it's so obvious, because when you're a kid and you find a tennis racket, what's the first thing you do?
Air guitar.
What's the first thing you do? You pick it up and like, it's not a tennis racket, it's a guitar. I'm an electric guitar rock star over here.
Things I'm disappointed with, though you kind of have to in order to make this work. In order for the pickup to work, you did have to use steel strings. However, a tennis racket is a nylon stringed instrument. I would have loved for this to have been a nylon string.
No.
Then it would be like a silent guitar. But
I'm actually very curious to know how this feels to play. Like, imagine the resonance of that. It's got to have a really weird resonance.
It's going to be like
it's got to feel like half banjo.
I think I was gonna say I think it's gonna have a banjo vibe to
and
it.
The bridge is not resting on the netting of the racket.
No.
It is on a crossbar that is attached to the hoop of the racket, which has full tension of the netting on the racket. So you are going to get resonance from you're going to feel an effect of that netting. Also, like, it's not a bad or weird shape. It's going to be crazy neck heavy, but who cares? Like, do the acoustic guitar thing and put the strap off the headstock. That's how you're going to have to wear this thing.
You're just going to need one of those 4-inch leather straps.
Sure. It's going to be super duper light, super duper neck heavy. The fact that they managed to mount the output jack and the pots, the volume and the tone pot, in the netting with washers is brilliant. Like, that's brilliant.
I don't think I realized that.
They're just floating there in the netting because they're held in with washers. It makes total sense. There's no reason why that wouldn't work whatsoever. It's a functional guitar with a neck pickup. As maybe it doesn't intonate. Maybe that's the secret like catch of this thing, is that there's no way it'll intonate.
Why wouldn't it intonate?
If the bridge is
pneumatic bridge.
If the bridge is like inches off, then it's not going to intonate. It does look like the bridge is pretty close to the neck, but it might be fine. It might be fine.
The neck looks short scale for what it's worth.
It's hard to tell.
It is hard to tell.
It's hard to tell the scale of this. It might be fine.
I was reading this and I'm thinking it's got a Telecaster neck. Was this some weird Dan Smith project? And then Fender was like, nah, F it. We're just going to start up the Fender Japan factory. And then it was like, no, just kidding. You're all dumb. And I was like, I am dumb.
You have this guitar, you play it in your band.
Okay.
The drummer plays a drum. It's a drum kit. It's a functional drum kit. It is an appearance of pots and pans. And what is the bass? The bass looks like
bass.
No, the bass looks like a broom. You get a broom bass. Now you have a band that's actually a functional band with functional instruments, but it is the objects that people use to pretend that they're playing music when they're kids. I love it. I love the concept of it. I think this is really cool. Should I offer him $175 and see if that's the best offer?
175?
Yeah.
You'd go that high.
Oh, what would you do?
I don't think I'd do more than I'd feel it out at 100.
Make an offer. Oh, I'm not signed in.
I'm signed in. Do you want me to find this?
I don't remember my password.
I think
oh wait, is it gonna remember? Am I gonna sign in? Am I signing in?
McEnroecaster.
Okay, I'm gonna offer $100.
All right, there you go. Somebody else made something similar to this. That's like a little better built.
I just offered $100 for the tennis caster.
And they are listed for $500. So anyway, I guess now
the seller automatically declined my offer.
They must have some kind of like minimum limit then.
Damn it.
Well, you could do your original 175 and see what happens if you really want to go that high. I do not know why you would. This is why people think we podcast drunk.
I know. I'm not. I'm extremely tired right now.
175.
I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
All right. We need to do the adventure.
I want to know what his minimum is now.
We need to do the adventures.
Okay.
Club.
Okay. Let's do it.
I do want to know what his minimum is. I think you should send another offer at 175.
I should keep going until I find the limit, and that's the video.
I mean, really,
just me bidding on a guitar to find what the lower limit is.
Bob's Used Guitars. Let's see, what other items does Bob's Used Guitar have? A brochure, a post-war K archtop, some
like
books,
decorative plates,
a plate,
am I seeing pants?
Women's pink flowered soft cotton nightgown, Levi's men's XXL sweats, a Gibson Super 400. That's cool. A shirt.
It's a pawn shop.
It kind of
or
looks
like a resale operation.
It kind of looks like some kind of reseller operation. Yeah, I have no idea how much this person is, but there are 16 people watching this.
If I played tennis,
says people want this.
If I happen to play tennis or care about tennis, I would bid.
Oh, the neck is short scale, 22 1/4.
I would bid that mofo up. I would probably go up to $500 on that if I cared about tennis at all, which I don't.
There's no bid. It's either buy it now or make an offer.
Yeah. Maybe there's a chance that this is like a clickbait listing where it's like people click on this and it leads them to my store. So like that's why it's 10 grand and I'm never going to take it down.
Maybe. That's sad to think about.
If it works, it works.
Ryan.
Yeah.
I feel like we had a lot of fun this episode.
We really did, Steve.
These were some really good ads.
I'm so tired and I was dreading recording, but I feel pretty good right now.
All right.
And you did that for me, Steve. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Adventurers Club.
I feel like we both know, like,
it's Total Racket.
It's a Total Racket.
Oh, Total Racket.
Total Racket.
Congratulations.
I almost bought it.
Congratulations.
Of course it won.
Andrew Smith, I believe. Andrew Smith. I will be sending you an email.
You're probably going to send it before the video airs.
No, it always goes out at 1 p.m.
Oh, really?
On the day. Yeah, because you can schedule it, and that's the default schedule time. This song was sent by Steven Dixon. It says Free Range is the name of the song. Hope you are still taking songs by email. We are. This is a WAV. We'll never
stop.
Hopefully it plays because WAVs can sometimes be tricky. It's loading. While it loads.
It's just because it's big. It won't be tricky when I edit the podcast.
Traffic violations for a free range here. Some people say I will never achieve anything in life, so I will die green. What we want doesn't matter to me. Why we said yesterday, save for another day. Need to ring from insanity. Lusciousness of life comes from letting go. I skipped out on your wedding, I skipped out on your show. I didn't miss much besides my family turned to blows. Do the math, bloodbath, slow children's signs. I prayed to Jesus yesterday to start boxing swine. If you'll bleed for me, then your family, I would still for you. Though you didn't want me, I'll fight to eat. It's like crossing your T's, commuting needs. Biomechanical mate, nightstand of forgiveness. My mind is gone. I skipped out on your wedding, I skipped out on your show. I didn't miss much besides my family turned to blows. Do the math, bloodbath, slow children's signs. I prayed to Jesus yesterday to start boxing swine. If you'll bleed for me, let your family, I would still for you, though you didn't want me to. Hallucinogenic make-believe, and army afraid. I would die for you, though you didn't want me to.
I loved that.
That
Like
was fun.
legitimately, like I want to hear the whole album.
Steven sent in other songs.
That's not our first time hearing something from him?
No, as in like we might be playing another Steven Dixon song next week.
Oh, okay. So this is his first time, as far as we know.
He sent in 1, 2, 3, 4. He sent in 4 songs.
Wow.
So I'll probably mix it up. We probably won't listen to something from him next week.
I've been like
We'll probably go back to something older.
I've been like trying to think about
Who does that sound like? I was
a
trying
lot
to
of
figure out,
a lot of people. Like I picked up a lot of like Tripping Daisy in there, but I tend to pick up Tripping Daisy in a lot of stuff, and
Right.
I don't know if it's always there. That might just be me wanting to hear Tripping Daisy, but his vocal style and the approach to the dynamics of the song,
Yeah.
and kind of the weirder elements and stuff like that. Not that Tripping Daisy is over the top weird or anything, but yeah, it was taking me to that place where I enjoy music, and I very deeply enjoyed that. Also, I've been on this little like personal situation, like trying to figure out, like what I want to do with my own music. I want to play in a band. I've got Dinosaur Ghost, but we play pretty infrequently. I want to play in a band, and I want to make music that sounds cool, that I like, and that sounds cool, and I like that. I want to be in a band like that. Like, I want to be in a band like that.
Have you thought about being in a band like that?
I don't know how. I don't know how, because the problem is that I don't want to be a singer-songwriter right now. I don't want to be the creative.
Right. You don't want to draw. You don't want to front.
I want to be a guitarist in a band like that. How do I find that to be in that is that's the challenge.
Ryan, have you ever listened?
It doesn't have only that. Like I'm open to a wide range of stuff, but stuff that like sounds good and excites me like that. Like,
this song threw me off in like the first like 4 measures or whatever, when it like goes in and and at first I was like, oh, this is just easy drummer or whatever. Like this is like the drum beat that I would like program on the Digitex to drum kind of a thing as a backing track. At first I just thought it was going to be backing track instrumental thing. And I was like, okay, I mean, it's cool. Like,
sure, whatever.
If that's what you got, send it to us.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
60cyclehumcast@gmail.com. We want your original music. But then all of a sudden it had like a couple riffs, and then it went to halftime, and I was like, the fuck? And then it went back to like regular, and then back to halftime.
You know what that is? You know why I like that? That's ADD music. That is ADHD music.
So Ryan, the question I have for you, because I kind of got that vibe from this. Have you ever listened to 100 Gex?
I've looked it up and listened to it. But it's not something that I put into rotation. I'll say that. I'm familiar with it. I understand what it is. I understand what it is.
I kind of got like if 100 Gex was a 90s band, they would have sounded like this.
Totally, sure.
Instead of a late 2010s hyper pop.
Right.
They were like an alterna pop band from the 90s. They would have had this vibe.
Yeah.
That was my take.
All right. Thanks for sending in the cool track. We're going to play your other cool tracks
Eventually.
on other episodes.
Yeah.
So
Maybe.
stay tuned for that.
Probably not next week. I like to mix it up.
Yeah, we like to, every other or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll play them all at once. Bye, everybody.
Stay grounded.